What's up, guys? This is Cody with Anime Recap Marathon, and this is our recap for the anime Ishura. The episode starts in what seems like a peaceful town. We see a few people running from something, and then the town starts to shake as something mysterious emerges from the center of the town. We found out the name of the city is Nagan Labyrinth City. We are then introduced to our first two characters, Yuno and Lucelles. Yuno watches Lucelles from a distance like a stalker as they head to class. Here we learn of a magic called word arts that uses words to make strange things happen. We also learn that there are visitors from other worlds and they can't use these word arts. Yuno is caught being creepy by Lucelles, but I guess she finds that shit cute because she just kind of smiles and after class asks Yuno to teach her force arts because Yuno excels at it. Yuno is acting shy, but she is obviously flowing with joy. We learn the town was built from the center of the great labyrinth of the demon king Kiyazuna. We see a bunch of men jumping a robot after that. At first, they thought they defeated the robot, but it revives and continues to fight. Yuno and Lucelles enjoy a peaceful day practicing and eating a meal together. Life should be peaceful as the demon king is dead, or so you would presume. Of course, we wouldn't be watching this if that was the case. As they continue walking, all of a sudden, the town begins to shake. Buildings collapse and the machines attack like it's the fucking Terminator. Yuno stands there as they rip Lucelles apart, limb by limb. It's quite gruesome. Like, she literally does nothing, though. It's kind of insane. Yuno finally gets up and runs away. She runs into a civilian who is instantly crushed by a giant megazord with tiny robots climbing its body. She makes it out of town, accepting that she should have went to the gulag with everyone else. While she's feeling sorry for herself, even though she's alive and everyone else is dead, one of the robots catches up to her. This time she chooses to fight, unlike 2 minutes ago when the girl she obviously had a crush on is getting treated like a freshly boiled crab. With only one attack, the robot from the labyrinth goes down. She is upset with herself because she could have saved Lucelles if that is all it took. God, what a waste, right? More of the robots approach and now she thinks she is her and tries to attack all of them at once with her word arts. This time, it doesn't. She is confused, so are we. She says, fuck it. She wants to be unalived anyway. Before they reach her, they are all sliced in half by some sword. In the middle of the defeated robots is a boy with a white bandana around his head and a battered practice sword in hand. He tells Yuno that she shouldn't want to be unalived for things are about to get fun for humans. Once everything is gone, humans will be able to go and do whatever they want. She realizes this person is a visitor because he is way too strong with such a piece of shit sword. He defeated all of the other robots in town and is shocked to learn that machines exist in that world too. He calls the robots golems. He proclaims no number of golems are a match for him. The visitor tries to eat a plant that Yuno knew was poisonous and didn't try to tell him otherwise. Very strange. The visitor asks Yuno if she has some food, and she ignores this question and tells him to run because he won't be able to defeat all of the golems, including the giant one. She is kind of rude and not exactly sure why Lucelles liked her. She tells the visitor there's no way you can kill the giant super megazord with that one tattered sword. She must not have gotten the memo on who the MC was. Turns out the labyrinth itself turned into the giant golem. The visitor doesn't care about any of that. He just wants food. Relatable. He will even take grass or bugs. She says she has some rations, but it doesn't taste very good. The visitor proclaims that talking to her is a hassle. So is listening to her, bro. I get it. He says he will take the rations in exchange for defeating the giant golem. He obviously doesn't care about anything else but the thrill of fighting. He's in it for the love of the game. Yuno disturbingly asks, what is his name? He is the last Yagyu on Earth, Sojiro Yagyu of the Yagyu Shinkage Ryu. Sojiro asks Yuno to teach him the word arts she just used, but Yuno says visitors can't use word arts because the place they come from is built of the law of physics. He isn't bothered by that and says it's fine because a sword is much better anyway. Yuno again tells Sojiro that he should just run. Everyone is dead and beating that thing won't change anything. Sojiro is only fighting it because he finds it to be entertaining. He charges a giant golem, taking out more of the smaller ones on the way. He reaches such a high speed that Yuno has to ask how he's running so fast. The giant golem tries to attack Sojiro and decimates the entire area surrounding them. Yuno thinks Sojiro was caught in the attack, but then sees him running up its arm. He dodges projectile attacks and uses the smaller golems coming from its body as steps to jump closer to the giant golem. It flings Sojiro in the air and charges a blast attack that Yuno calls the thermal arts, and says that it used that attack to destroy the entire city. Sojiro then dodges the attack using the smaller golems again and slashes the giant golem's head, cutting off the top half. He says he is thankful for the smaller golems for being used as stepping stones. The giant golem is still active and swings at Sojiro as he is still standing on top of it. He uses an attack supposedly created by his clan that steals your opponent's weapon and uses their momentum against them. Its giant arm is sliced off and goes flying into its chest, destroying the giant golem. We see its life seal powered down as it falls to the ground. He calls the technique Mutodori. The smaller golems then power down because the main one is defeated. Yuno is shocked that Sojiro won, but immediately turns into a giant hater, questioning if the labyrinth awakened because it senses Sojiro's strength. Maybe he even activated it on purpose. She asks him how he did it. Yujiro says, if you imagine that you created them, it is easy to discover the location of their life seals. Now that is some logic. Amazing writing. Because the legs are too close to the ground and the chest has a burning weapon, it couldn't be there. Since it attacked with its left arm, that means that was its only option. Yuno hands over the rations and Yujiro eats it with the paper on and everything. Bro was starving for real. Yuno admits she hates strong people because they made her life feel insignificant. Sojiro then questions where he should go next to find strong opponents. Yuno then tells him that he should head to Eurasia. It is the largest country that they have and has a lot of strong people. They're gathering heroes from all over the world and planning something really big. Yuno is only telling him this because she wants Gojo to be unalive and is sure someone there is strong enough to defeat him. The second general in Eurasia, wow, what a hater by the way. The second general of Eurasia, Rossclay the Absolute, Toroa the Awful, Krafnir the Hatch of Truth, Kazuki the Black Tone, Luknalka the Winter. She is hoping at least one person can fold Sojiro. She offers to guide him. With her, Sojiro won't be suspected because she is a scholar of Nagan. Sojiro tells Yuno that he likes her expression and agrees to travel with her. She isn't sure what expression he's talking about exactly, but it's probably this one. Fucking weirdo. Yuno thanks Sojiro because now she's free and feels like she can do something wild. He asks her name, and she tells him that she's Yuno of the Distant Talon, and he is Sojiro of the Willow Sword. The true Demon Lord was defeated, and the world is no longer in an age of fear. The only problem is, nobody knows who the hero really is. The world is in desperate need of someone to take the title of the hero who defeated the true Demon King. Humans are referred to as minions. We learn there used to be 3 minion kingdoms, but now only one remains, Eurasia. We are shown a town called the New Principality of Lithia, established by a former general, Terran the Guarded. This town was formed by Terran and has broken off from Eurasia. Terran and Lithia are considered threats by Eurasia. We switch to a cart in a desert setting. The cart is on the way to Lithia but is being chased by wyverns. A spy sent by Terran named Lana, the Moon Tempest, is on her way to warn Lithia of the wild wyverns. She's accompanied by hired assassins, Higuare the Pelagic, and a scary skeleton man named Shulk the Sound Slicer. Honestly, they look fucking badass. We learn the true Demon King was responsible for destroying the other 2 kingdoms in the past. Eurasia has deemed Terran a Demon King himself. There are many false Demon Kings, but none are as terrifying as the deceased true Demon King. On top of the wyverns still chasing their carriages, bandits show up and try and rob them. Somehow the bandits didn't see the wyverns chasing them. The bandits threaten to blow the carriages up if they don't pull over. Just before one of the bandits shoots the carriage driver, he gets eaten by a wyvern. The group of wyverns quickly dispatches the bandits, although these are not the same wyverns that were chasing the carriages. These wyverns are intelligent and have a leader named Regnege. They are a battalion from Lithia. After they take out the bandits, Regnege uses thermal arts to finish off the wild wyverns. Lana tells the two assassins that no city in history has used wyverns for aerial combat. Although they have wyverns who are considered invincible, they need the assassins because someone is controlling the bandits. It is most likely Auracia trying to get rid of Terran and the city of Lithia. Over in the city of Auracia, we learn that, although it is ruled by the last queen, the politics are run by a group called the 29 Officials. We are then shown a meeting between the two of the officials. They talk about how bandit attacks are a waste of time. They should resort to assassination because there's no way they would win a war against Lithia. We also learn that they're organizing a competition to name a hero. They talk about who they can use, and the shadier guy says an assassination doesn't have to be quiet. We then switch to a dragon hunting squad led by General Harjant. They have been marching for 20 days and are quite tired from the trip. Harjant is talking with one of his advisors about tracking the dragon they call the Smoldering One. He seems to be after this dragon only for the fame and glory. His plan is to wait for the dragon to starve and fly out, but he is surprised to hear the dragon is headed their way and is crawling on the ground instead. His advisor uses word arts to fling him from the camp before the Smoldering One, Vikion, attacks and kills everyone. Harjant is the only one left against the dragon. He is surprised to see the dragon is already wounded and asks who did this to him. The dragon refuses to say who did it, but then tells Harjant that it was a champion. Harjant assumes that the champion was a minion, and that angers Vikion. Vikion says even a minion champion could never do that much damage. Vikion then attempts to kill Harjant with thermal arts, but Harjant attacks first. Harjant's attack does no damage, and it seems like this is the end for him, when Vikion charges up another attack. But before he gets to fire off his attack, he sees something behind Harjant, what seems to be a blue wyvern. Vikion calls him Alice, the Star Runner. We learn Star Runner was born with 3 upper limbs. Like Harjant, Star Runner craves fame. He's conquered lands, dungeons, and collected many treasures. And now he wants to kill a dragon and conquer a legend. Harjant then attacks Star Runner, and the wyvern easily dodges. They do a great job of making his spear not look like shit, too. Like, the second it breaks that rock, it's just like, boing. Little rubber spear. Star Runner then pulls out a gun and shoots Vikion in the eye with a magic bullet. Alice uses word arts to transform the bullet into spikes before Vikion can shoot another attack off, and Vikion goes down. Harjant shoots another arrow at Alice and tells him to back off because Vikion was his prey in the first place. Yeah, good luck with that, buddy. We now see that Alice considers Harjant a friend, and they have some sort of past with one another. Harjant says Alice should hate him because he's killed so many wyverns. Alice then says he's heard about the hero's competition and is willing to help, but Vikion rises and shoots out another attack. Alice blocks the attack and cuts Vikion in half with a light sword. Harjant says Alice should join the competition, but he will never use Alice's strength again. Alice tells him he understands and admires Harjant's desire. He says he is heading to the Labyrinth of Nagan, and Harjant says, why head to a destroyed city? But Alice says there is something there that he wants. He is Alice, the Star Runner, collector of weapons and artifacts, and the fastest airborne warrior.